You're here. I'm so excited you're here. Welcome to the full tour of my living room, dining room, and home office. Come on in. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to share this tour with you. We moved our family of soon to be 7 children from a teeny tiny 2,000 square foot semi-detached house to this literally 6,000 square foot cabin in the woods, and I'm so excited to share with you what we've done here. Look in the notes below for where I got everything. I partnered with some really fun brands on this project as well. And stay tuned to the end of this video where I'm gonna share my best decorating hack for living in a rental, as well as what I find most challenging about living in a rental. Come on in. Welcome to our kid cabin. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm just so thrilled. This was such a labor of love to accomplish. And I'm so excited to share it with you. So let me show you a couple things that we did in this space. If you were here in real life, you would be served a coffee. So I'm gonna have mine while we talk about this house. But basically the biggest challenge was the fact that it's a rental and that we're not entirely sure how long we're gonna be here. And so I had to be really strategic with my budget. But there were a few things that I really wanted to do, including shiplap. So shiplap is what is all along the walls. I partnered with my friends at Matree. They are the largest company in North America for trim and interior finishings. So because this is a cabin in the woods so much, except that it's walking distance to a Starbucks, it's like the best thing ever. My kids still go to the exact same school. We just got really lucky with this gem of a property. I really wanted to embrace the cabin in the woods feeling, and so shiplap to me just does that. I looked at temporary offerings. So I looked at the peel and stick wall decals. I looked at temporary wallpaper that's good for rentals, and I'll post those in the notes below. So if you are in a rental and you want this shiplap look, you've got some options, but I really just wanted the real thing. I love the texture. I painted it all out white to just stay really fresh. But the actual texture and the quality of that texture that shiplap provides is, I don't know, to me just like not the same as a temporary wallpaper. So I chose to take a significant portion of my budget and to put it into the installation and the product. And that's what I would say to anybody who is decorating a rental but really wants to make it their own. Simply just set a budget and have the priorities in it your unique priorities. So when we set up the furniture that came from our old house, which was super small. It was literally just the sofa behind me, the coffee table behind me, 2 side chairs, and 2 end tables. It looked like a postage stamp in this massive, expansive room. So I knew that it was in the cards to invest in some furniture. But again, because of my decision to prioritize things like the shiplap, I had to go very strategic in terms of price point on the other things. So I got these sofas online at a really popular online retailer. And if you'd be interested in a full review of these sofas, I will totally do it because I have very strong feelings about, I have strong feelings about everything, but I have strong feelings about velvet, navy, and children. And I'll just tease it now that it is high maintenance. But because I love the color and I love the texture, I decided to be okay with the fact that I have to wipe up spills. But honestly, I just love, again, the texture and the softness, and that fabric is like fun. And it tells a story. As a designer, I love telling a bit of a story in the spaces that I create. And I do that very much through textiles. And so let's talk about these pillows. Oh my gosh, these pillows, I'm like obsessed. I love these pillows. I love that it has a little bit of all these different colors. Some of these colors I was a little bit like, oh my word, like my husband's gonna think I'm nuts. Like, what am I doing? There's so many colors in this space, but I love them. It's so fun, it's so energetic. And I paired them with these really inexpensive chairs, because again, I had to keep this budget balance somehow. And so you can see in the notes below where I got these chairs. One of my favorite things about this living room is that there's lots of different areas for conversation. So you can sit here on the sofas. There's like the tufted sofa behind me from our old house. My husband likes to read his paper and have his coffee there in the mornings. There's this other like cute pattern chair next to a mirror that I tend to gravitate towards. And then of course the chair by the fireplace. Oh my gosh, I love coffee. Like, I just love coffee. It's one of the biggest challenges for me being this pregnant. Like, I have to limit my caffeine intake, obviously. And I could drink coffee all the live long day. Anyone else here, like, obsessed with coffee? So one of the things I've noticed about this house is how my family, like, thrives in this much room. Like, they have more room, they're not as on top of each other, so I have noticed that some of the typical conflicts have sort of like resolved themselves in a way because there's just so much room. Like, people aren't as on top of each other and fighting over certain things. They still fight about all kinds. They found new things to fight about, basically, all my children. But I do find the larger space is great for a family of my size to give kids just a bit more breathing room. Anyways, all so exciting. So I love that this home allows for this little office space for me, but it's still connected to the main space. So while my kids are doing their thing, I can be, paying some bills, keeping my paper organized. I struggle a lot with paper organization. Like, for me, it's the behavior. It's like when paper comes in, if I don't deal with it, it just piles. So let me share with you a couple of the hacks I have for paper that have really been helpful. So number one is to have garbage nearby. This is the prettiest garbage can I've ever seen, you guys. It's marble and it costs more than, like, I'm willing to admit I paid for, but it's really cute. So I'll put paper in there and I'll put in my recycling after. That's really helpful. I have all these file folders and I have them high enough up that my little guys can't grab them. And inside of these are individual, labeled folders as well. I have yet to figure out a cute way to label these. If anyone has tips on like the cutest little labels, let me know, because I don't know. I've tried lots of different things and not happy with any of them. So I need a cute little DIY solution maybe for labeling my folders. If you have a tip for me, put it in the comments. I have found this printer to be so handy. I'm going to be honest with you. I only bought it because it was aqua and it matched and it was white. I literally Googled white cute printer and this is what I came up with. It was $49, you guys. This printer is so cute. And I actually was kind of like, oh, is this like a waste? We already have a big printer downstairs in my husband's office. But it's really convenient. Again, pregger over here. I don't want to waddle all the way downstairs to get something. And so this has been really, really convenient. It's been convenient for kids' projects. That's another thing. As my kids are getting older, they have way more school projects that involve things like collages and like obviously reports where they actually have to print. And so it's really convenient to have a printer right here where the family has access to it. Another thing I find helpful are these inexpensive boxes that I placed all along the bottom. And this is where I put stuff like kids' mementos, like all the crafts that they come home with. This is where I put stuff like, I have like electronic randomness, some of the stuff for my camera down here. If I were to do this all again, I may have invested in doors or drawers just because it's a bit more permanent. Like one of these boxes is already really like well worn in, but they're very inexpensive and it's something that I could definitely think about. This particular unit from IKEA does come with a drawer system that you could install later after the fact. So I may consider doing that in the future. And then let me show you what has been my favorite paper hack to keep things top of mind. Oh my gosh, this has changed my life. Okay, first of all, God bless little toddlers, because this happened literally the day after we installed this and I just haven't gotten around to filling the holes here and painting them. Good old toddlers, love them. But this has been probably my favorite thing I've ever done in any of my homes when it comes to paper organization and keeping things top of mind. So I picked up these cute, like super cute clipboards on Amazon. I love that they're different colors. I'll link below where I got them from. But I have many different projects that kind of are on the go at multiple times. And so what I'm doing that's been really successful is literally like each project gets a clipboard and each project gets like a task list. So it allows me to just see at a glance, here's what's going on for my book. Here's what's going on for some of the courses that I'm launching. Here's what, this was my home one, like the home renovation list. And here, like things like this, like library book slips where you're like, oh my gosh, like how many library books are due. Like it just allows me at a glance to see kind of what's going on in my life. This is where I sometimes put like school forms or other important things like health card renewals to again keep it top of mind, because I just find if I stick it in my purse or if I put it in a file, I forget about it. But I like this system like a lot. Okay, let me show you my dining room. Come on. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys about these. Oh, these are like my cute little ottomans. I love them so much. So these are from a local Toronto retailer. And look at the tassel. Like I'm obsessed. You know when there's like a product that a company comes out with and you're just like, I have to have that? These were one of them, but I was a little bit like just nervous about spending the money. I was worried they were gonna get ruined because again, velvet. I have strong opinions about velvet and children. It's maintenance, but it's worth the maintenance because look how cute and they're so soft. One of the funny things about these is because they're so light, like look how light, my children roll on them like they're, I don't know what, cars, trucks, monster trucks, I don't know, but it's been kind of like a fun surprise of them. And they've stood up pretty well so far, I have to say. So I'm pretty impressed with how these little guys have turned out. And just the pop of color. I'm such a fan of like color in a space. And if you're nervous about incorporating color, I think just like the small punctuation of something like this is just really fun and really playful. All right, let's go to the dining room. I love this dining room because it was cheap. Okay, so this table was, I want to say $1.99. I'll put it in the notes below. It was cheap. We reused the chairs from my old house. These used to be outside. I did invest in a new light fixture, but probably my favorite thing in this space is my pink door. So again, I partnered with Matree on all these doors and they're just like so pretty. It is a really cute little punctuation. I think because it's also soft, it's not like intense or anything. And I don't know, it makes me so happy every time I see it. So I love my pink door. And let me show you the other place where we went pink. Come, let's look at the foyer. Welcome to my cozy little entryway. I have always wanted to create a foyer or an entryway space, but in my other home, all my other homes, I lived in too small a space to have any kind of entrance furniture. So I just love the combination of a console table, a little ottoman, some baskets. I keep things like hats and sunscreen and things the kids use all the time in the baskets. And I just love the inviting, cozy little area it creates when you come home from a long day. So this space is a combination of things that I've had from my old house. This lamp behind me I've had since like 2010 or something. The console is new. Some of the accessories I've had just from past projects, things from client spaces that didn't work out and then I get to inherit. I have an essential oil diffuser. That's like my favorite thing to have at an entrance because it just makes the space feel so inviting when you come in. And this ottoman, like PS, I have to sit down because I'm so pregnant. Oh my gosh, have I said that enough times? How pregnant am I? So pregnant. And I think this little cozy corner is a beautiful example of, again, the impact trim and interior moldings can play in a home. And one quick note, remember how I said I have strong opinions about many things? Well, trim is yet another one of those things. So one of the things I really struggled with was, again, whether or not to do the shiplap, because I kind of feel like if you're gonna go to the effort and expense to install something like this, you really gotta do it properly. So we replaced the casings, the baseboards. Again, these were an additional expense that we paid for, and I really struggled with the decision. But I just feel like if you are going to do something, that you finish it off properly. I debated reusing the old baseboards, which were really small and they were in a totally different style than the shiplap, and I'm just really glad that I made the decision to replace the baseboards, the casing, the doors, because it just like makes for a more polished look. I'm kind of obsessed with trim, just a little bit. So, but you'll see in 2 weeks time, come back where I talk about my basement. In my basement, I did reuse some of the trim, but I did it really strategically so that it kind of felt cohesive and kind of felt like it made sense. And of course, we went with another pop of pink in here because, I mean, why not? Again, in a rental, you can be kind of whimsical. That was one of the fun things about decorating this space. was that I didn't feel so pressured, I guess, or kind of like, oh my gosh, like I have to live with this forever. Like, no, I know it's temporary, and paint is so temporary. Like, you can change paint. If I get tired of this pink door, I can change it to a more classic color if I really want to. Okay, and then finally, because I spent so much money on certain things in this space, I had to get really, really, really strategic with just how to spread out the budget. So one of the ways I did was to buy things online secondhand. So I went onto Kijiji, and Kijiji, you can get like anything and everything. It's amazing. So this light fixture was, I think, $50 secondhand. I also kind of believe in supporting the secondhand economy because it's just like, it's responsible. Like, I acquire a lot of stuff from the kinds of projects that I'm involved in. And so to sell it online and contribute and promote the secondhand economy is actually really important to me, because you can, number one, save yourself a bunch of money. And number two, it's a responsible use of things that you aren't using anymore. Allow it to bring someone else pleasure. So this light fixture that I got off a seller on Kijiji was a super strategic thing, both for my budget, as well as just being responsible with giving pieces a second home, a second lease on life, if you will. So my best hack for decorating a rental is to pick pieces that you can sell online, like for example, on a platform like Kijiji. So I was actually really strategic about my sofas. They're a very popular sofa right now on an online website, that look for it down in the notes below. And so I knew that if we decided to move like really soon, they would be something that would actually get picked up, I think, fairly easily. Because I'll be honest, I'm just not the kind of person who, like, there are certain things that I've had forever. This lamp is a good example. And if you're interested, I could maybe do a video on some of the things that have survived, if you will, all of my different home renovations and our move. So that might be a fun video to do. If you'd be interested in something like that, let me know in the comments, because that could actually be really fun. But I'm not the kind of person who necessarily like cares about keeping something forever. I'm really okay if in a year's time, 2 years' time, I end up selling or giving those sofas away. I'm also okay if I have them for 10 years, 15 years. I definitely believe in investing in quality, but I also believe in, you know, like changing your mind, and that's okay. Like, we have online platforms like Kijiji because you can, you know, sell things that other people would find very valuable. So my decorating hack, I guess, is like to not feel too pressured in the things that you're gonna buy, because while I believe in investing in quality 100%, I think I exemplified that in the fact that I put up shiplap all through my house. I also believe that if you change your mind, then someone else would find it very valuable. And then the hardest thing about living in a rental, like, again, I'm just gonna say it, I feel like I've said it 100 times in this video, is just the sort of the cognitive dissonance around you're spending money on things that are going to stay behind. There are certain things that certainly, if I wanted to go through the effort, I could take all my light fixtures with me, and I'm sure I will. Like, I'm 100%, I'll take my dining fixture with me. I'll probably take the foyer fixture with me because I really like it. But there are other things that I will probably leave behind because, like, I don't know, they might not fit in the next home, or my next home might already have doors, for example. So I'm probably gonna leave the doors here. So that's been my biggest challenge in terms of, oh my gosh, where do you spend money and where do you save money? And definitely come back next week. I'm gonna be sharing with you my master bedroom and my master closet, where I did all kinds of money saving tips and tricks in there. And my basement in 2 weeks' time, where we kept certain elements of it super economic. If you like this video, I would love for you to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that you know when my 2 next videos particularly are up on my canning cabin renovation. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy to have you here in my home today, and cheers to designing your beautiful life.